All of you in the concluding session of the first day of the IFX Expo Asia for the year 2015. We are going to have a very interesting keynote speech now from BAIDU. I would like to invite Frankie and Starla, who will also introduce themselves and the company, and will teach you all about how to penetrate the Asian market from the powerful online tool. Enjoy.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your time and thanks for the kind introductions. Before I kick it off, let me introduce myself. Today I'm very excited, although I spoke for Expo for 3 or 4 times. I'm a Hong Kongese. I'm also one of the pioneer guy in Hong Kong, launching the search engine marketing when I was in Yahoo. So I've been in internet for more than 10 years. I'm glad for joining, BAIDU International Advertising Unit. Hopefully, my experience and advice can help you guys to enter into the biggest global market, which is China. So I saw many familiar faces. I think more than half of you are already my customer. So why don't I kick it start? So today's agenda, and Starla have prepared something for you, hopefully give you some insight. So I will go with how was the digital landscape. I find Google is just outside, helping you guys how to tap, the white space in the market, how to work with the IB, how to work with the direct customer, how to do acquisitions. So how about what's happening in China? Sounds like I think you guys heard about, Google, Gmail. Sounds like it was being blocked in China. So what else you can do? So which are the dominant player? Of course, we get to be the market leader, which is BAIDU. And then we'll go through some high-level app products so that you have more idea in which part, specific channels you can get connected with the target audience. Starla will tell you more about how to retain this wealthy and potential market customer. And lastly, we have some sample for some of your competitors, how they leverage the digital media landscape to enter into market. So why don't I kick it off right away? So talk about some facts about China. So I think everyone knows that it is the country with the biggest number of populations. But if you just look at the internet user, actually this number already surpassed the total number of Americans in the world. And the good thing is we see this number keep on increasing, especially internet penetration keep on increasing in the 2nd tier and 3rd tier city in China. This is particularly apparent when people move using digital phone gadgets to get online. So people easily can get into internet now. And you just see the number, the mobile subscriber, based on the market penetration rate in China, it already reached 94%. So I think we understand, there are a lot of activities you can do in online. So currently, you can see, apart from what we are using, like in instant messaging, the most dominant media or the activities people are doing is search engine. So that also makes search engine become an indispensable role, in bringing new customer to you. Of course, video, gaming, or other, common activities that people are doing. And there are also some other ways you can go through this kind of activities to reach your target audience. I think this is an interesting figure. I was in London last month. When I go into LV, I find more than half of the salesmen are actually speaking to me in Mandarin. And when I go to Harvard, I realize they hire more than 100 sales person who are, who can speak Mandarin too. So it tells you it's about the spending power of Chinese. They are one of the most active, people, the market segment who always buy the luxury products and also invest. Of course, the economy environment also push people to invest in forex or binary options because so many people, they wanted to safely to put their money or wealth, away from their hometown. So it sounds like, forex and binary options is a good way for them, to manage their portfolio of investment much effectively. So we are talking about BAIDU. We talk about online. Why BAIDU? Very simple, just like Google in most of the majority markets. We are the #1 search engine, and then we are also the #1 website, for China. And from the website in the world, just because of the population of Chinese, you see we are already #4, #5 in the website. We got the most traffic in the world. And interesting is people in China is really familiar with search engine. You see, they have at least 10 times a daily search per user. And then we are talking about 6 billion search queries, on a daily basis. It's really huge numbers. So not to mention too much. If only 1% of this query can see your product and service, and only 1% of them convert to be your customers, then you can guess how much money you can get. And of course, if you want to enter into a new market like China, you have to work with the dominant partner. Otherwise, it can give you critical mass. It is especially true if you're new to this market, you wanted to let more people know about your brand instead of those who are dominant in the market, like what we have, I think, like GK Airways, FACM, I think we have Oana, we have ADSS, all this. They are already kick off operation with us. So why? That's the reason. Because we are talking about the daily 6 billion search query, and there are lots of opportunity over there. And also, we talk about in digital landscape in China market, we talk about BAT. B is BAIDU. They are strong in search engine. A, we are talking about Alibaba, but sounds like in terms of relevancy, not too related into forex in this moment. And T is Tencent, which like WeChat and the QQ. So the most straightforward direct marketing way sounds like it's still search engine. So BAIDU is still the first choice of many of your competitors. And then this is also a summary of how much so-called unique IP. So the good thing is the potential of this market is so big that every day you can generate more than 300 million unique IPs. That means every day you can reach new customers and acquire new customers. The customers can be your direct customers, but also can be your potential IP partner. So that's the potential here. And then the BAIDU, in terms of network reach, they're more than 95%. That means 95 out of 100, internet citizens, they are being covered by BAIDU. So apart from BAIDU, what else you guys know about in China? Have you guys heard about iQIYI? It's a dominant video website, just similar to YouTube, in other parts of the world. So they have some, proprietary video content. To be honest, the major shareholder is BAIDU. So I think people also have about like the biggest China, travel website called Qunar. You know who is the biggest shareholder? It's also BAIDU. So now BAIDU is not just like a platform, like a search engine. It actually is like a ecosystem. And if you really need money to do business, you can also borrow from us. We also bought a banking license. So it sounds like, it is all what you can have. And after we do a brief introductions about BAIDU, and then I'm going to talk about what are the major, advertising portals that your competitors are using to grab your market share. First of all, search engine marketing, very common. The good thing is very targeted, And then it also have a number of formats you can choose. Now, search engine, they are not using like a traditional pay-per-click. There are also some new, I would say, rich media format that can ensure, you guys can build very strong brand equity in this China market. That's important in a way you already have so many competitors in Baidu. You know how much is a keyword for forest in Baidu? We charge a cost per click. Do you have any idea? No? Sorry? $50, US dollars or Hong Kong dollars? US, okay. 50, okay. Very, very good guess. I think there is still room to do better. So you should advertise now, because I think the effective keyword for this in terms of cost per click is less than that for most of your players. So that means this guy is willing to pay $50 to buy one lead, right? So that means our product and our keyword are still underpriced. Okay, so think about that, do it right away. Okay, and then I talk about SCM, how is the importance. I don't want to share all these facts again, but I can tell you, just like Baidu, in our so-called key account, major account segment, last year we go almost, how much is it? How much percentage? I give you a guess again. You guess it? How much percent we grow our key account, customer revenue last year? Okay, actually 70%, 70. So it was huge because Baidu is already leader. We have enough critical mass. But now we find that more of your competitors, they leverage this platform not only to a search engine. You guys are also using mobile to stimulate the trading frequency. You guys are also using, the rich media to strengthen your brand in this, biggest market. So that also tells you now, not only SCM, but also Baidu play a dominant role, in the digital landscape in China. So this gives you a much more idea. Although there are so many other, so-called online activities, search engine is still very dominant. It is especially true when you go to mobile, when you guys are just, waiting for the bus, waiting for the taxi, you start searching for the relevant information, and then you guys are proactively searching for that. So you guys already got strong intention to buy, or at least to take a deeper look on this service. So what you have to do in SCM is just let others to see, I'm already here. So if you wanted to do some investment in forex, if you wanted to do something in binary options, you can consider us. That's true because in China, there is a culture value is a bit different. People buy stuff quite based on referrals, quite based on the perceived brand equity. This is especially when you find most of the forex players in China, they are still in a very premature level. Not so sophisticated. It's something very new to them. So that's why they really, you can change their mindset for SCM. So the good thing about Baidu, except for the massive coverage, which about the network width, it is also something very easy to measure. We talk about CPC, cost per click. To be honest, most of your competitors, they can now understand very easily what is the cost per acquisition, what is the CPA, what is the so-called the average revenue per transactions for every forex trading transactions. They know all the numbers. Unlike traditional marketing, even every time we sponsor in this booth or if we sponsor in the event, not so easy to measure, but much easier to do it online. And of course, the good thing is you need not pay for any money unless you find your right target audience. For example, my friend is here, I really love their brand, oh, they are the O-ender, I'm the diehard fans, right? So when I see ABC Forex, I would never click into that because I didn't think it's a very familiar brand or friendly brand to me. So even ABC Forex, they wanted to enter into this market. For this kind of customer, they need not pay for anything. Instead, they are doing some free advertising with branding elements. So that's also a good idea for you to grab your competitors' customers. We talk about like the brand song. What's that? I think very easy in Baidu, unlike Google. I think we have some Google friends here. To be honest, we are not as scared as a user experience at other platforms. In China, if you try to do Baidu search, I can tell you, in most scenarios, you can only find one organic search result. That means SEO. And most of the others are SEM. That means unless you pay money, so in China, not so popular to do their search engine optimizations because there's only one space for every page in most of the search queries. So unless you pay, you can get whatever you like in China. If you don't have money, I'm sorry that you can't do anything. That's especially true about Chinese culture. Currently, I can say I personally feel about that. And there are a various number of brands and format. You see, it's something more than just text. There are some picture, there are some video, but one common thing is it occupies the major part of the search result. That means when people search for you, they can't escape because even every space, they are your advertisement. And you can link to different, deep link and different destination link. For example, I got the license not only forwards but also binary options. You can help you to link into different landing pages. So there are some flexibility you do it. So the key summary about this popular product called brand song is brand building. Not everyone can afford to buy this. If you are one, at least you prove yourself to be a dominant brand in the China market. Good to build a brand reputation over there. And then brand protections. In China, in Baidu, everyone can buy your brand. That means, if you don't buy it, maybe there is a threat that some of the new entrants, they try to advertise by leveraging your brand. Then you will be very troubled because it sounds like people don't know really much about the difference, and they may easily turn into your competitors' customer. And then very cost efficient. The thing is, in terms of conversions, it can always guarantee a number of conversions because it covers all the branding keywords, and then which are the most popular keywords in your branding elements. So that means they can't really escape from your advertising. And then this one is about the display network. In Baidu, they have more than 500K websites which are under this network. And all other display formats, they are charged by cost per click. That means, you can advertise not only in Baidu, but we provide a so-called DSP, solutions that can cover, the major leading site in China. So what you can do with Baidu is almost, everything you can do it because the network with is more than 90-something%. And this one is important because you have search engine. I would say you're rather reactively in that you guys are already here. But you wanted to do it more proactive to draw some of the people who would still hesitate to go with any of the forest brands. Then you can proactively to trace that. So display is something you can do it. So that's why, we always think that online banner is complementary to search engine. And also the good thing is with the banner, visual, or even video of rich media, its eye-catching nature can also improve the CTR, the click-through rate. Then to make your brand, really build a stronger foundations in the mind of your target customers. So I would say if you ask about the data from Baidu, in recent quarters that we have launched, you will find that the search queries is actually moving from desktop to mobile. So that's why mobile now becomes the competitive arena, that your competitors, they are working on. That's particularly true because in terms of cost per click, mobile platform is still lower than the desktop one. Very simple, not your competitors, their website or their apps are user-friendly enough. So that's why not so competitors are bidding on the same keyword. So it allows you to bid a lower CPC. And we find the tendency really coming very fast. Now almost half or of the search queries in Baidu, they are already coming from mobile. And there are also some mobile solutions like similar to Google. I think you guys heard about Click-to-Call, LBS, which is the locational-based service. And then also you can use some coupon, QR code, and then using some so-called the golden brand zone to do it. It's similar to what you can do. But be aware, I always say that in China, when you do this kind of stuff, yes, easy to target your audience, but you need to understand the culture of your target customers. If you need people to really register, with a new customer with you, but with so many information, so much information, they have to fill it. Usually the result is not too good. So think about this. You need to be local, not just using the global strategy and then just translate it and to make it in China. Most of them, they will be failures. So that's why you need to be careful on that. Our experience tells us, if you wanted to do something on mobile, you need to do something simple and easy. For example, give you an example, some of your competitors, they on mobile, they only trigger to open the demo accounts instead of the real accounts. And then they will have a tele sales team to follow up. And it comes, the result may be a kind of much more guaranteed. Of course, even the SCM is supporting multi-image, multi-video. The more elements, the more rich media elements you want to put in, the higher the cost. But usually, the stronger the engagement. So it depends whether you wanted to do it with ROI or you wanted to have, audience engagement. So usually, when we work with the partners, we'll go with what is a KPI before we introduce any solution to you. So I would say in Baidu, it's really a very integrated marketing solution, not only mobile, not only keyword search, but also it can allow you doing retargeting or social media in our platform. So I think I already spoken enough for my part. So why not pass to Sarah to tell you something more?
Okay, thank you, Frankie. Can I have a click? Thank you, Frankie. Hello, everyone. My name is Starla Xing. I'm the Overseas Business Development Manager of Baidu International. So Frankie just gave us some insight of Chinese internet marketing and also Baidu's product. I would like to focus on how we can attract those right people to grow your business in China. So we already know like half of Chinese are already on internet. So how many of them are your client? So you can see from here, based on Baidu Big Data, there are about 30 million searches related to investment on Baidu every month. Like 65 of them are through web search, and 19% of them are through mobile search. And rest of them are from other platforms of Baidu, like Baidu Wikipedia, Baidu Knowledge. So these people are your client. And you can see web search is very important. So it's something you really need to consider. So this is the result page on Baidu search engine. So people search because they are demand. And when they search investment, we can show your companies on the perfect moment when they have this demand. So people will read description of a portal and they will think, if they think the portal is attractive, they will click it. And you can see this is the keyword of forex trading in Chinese, of course. It shows a lot of forex companies here. And people will choose one or two or more. They will click on your URL, visit your website. And furthermore, most of the visitors, they will complete the trading account registration and become your client. So it's easy. The formulas of success is very clear. And you don't have to worry about getting clients. So Baidu will be the responsible to bring all the clients. The thing you need to do is you need to have an attractive website to like a very attractive offer to your clients, so they will become your real client. So, but you see, But I just saw you, but I just show you the result page. You can see there's so many forest companies there. But how can you be the one that people will choose? So I really suggest you need to be like the top 3 ranking. We call it the F pattern. I think most of you maybe already know what is the F patterns. So I won't explain too much. Basically, it's like people will pay more attention on the top left side of the page. So actually, data shows like most Chinese will spend more time on the first page. So it's very important to you like keep on the top 3 rankings on the result page. All right, so you can see from here, the ranking number 1, the click share is 38%. The ranking number 2 is 23%, and ranking number 3 is 14%. So they actually covers like 75% of the click. So top 3 is very important. Be the top 3. Okay, so now we know we have to be on the search engine, and what keywords should we choose to trigger our brand, and how should I choose them? Most of the case, we need to like include 4 kind of terms. First is general terms. The second is product terms. The third is competitors terms, and the fourth is your brand terms. So the general terms is like something your potential clients are interested. So you probably would say, my clients were interested in invest. My clients interested in finance or fortune management or stocks. What I'm telling you, well, maybe we need to include games like music or comedy or cars. You probably say, why? They're not our potential clients, but because there's nothing to do with the Forex. But again, based on Baidu's big data, we know that 70% of our potential clients, like the people who are interested in foreign industry, they're men. Like, whereas the 30% of them are women. So most of them are aged from 20 to 39. So basically, they're young people. So what young people they're interested? They're interested in movie. They're interested in sport. They're interested in cars, in music. So we have to include all these general terms. We need to include all these keywords to our general terms. Okay. So product terms. So some people, they have heard of the product name, or they know about it. They want to do more research about it. So you definitely don't want to lose those kind of people. The third, competitors terms. I don't think I need to say more about it, because when people search your competitor's name, you don't want to give a chance to your competitor so easily, which is like you want to show your face. You want to say, hey, I'm here, I'm better, so pick me. You definitely want to include your competitor's name. The last but not least, your brand terms. So for those people that search your brand, they're your core customers. They have strong desires to buy some things from you. So you definitely have your brand terms included. So this is what we suggest our clients to cover if you want to trigger the right client. Okay, so you're doing SEM on Baidu now, and you bought all 4 kinds of terms, and I just mentioned, but your competitors are doing the same thing. So is there anything we can do more to stand out? So first I would suggest like a Baidu, there's another product called Brand Landmark. So Brand Landmark, it shows on the right side of the result page, and it's just like one advertiser can have this outstanding format to present to your target client. So it's not only your brand will show on the left side, show on the search result page. You also have your logo, your slogan, your product information on the right side. So it definitely draw more attention to your clients. Another product I would suggest, if you think it is time to enhance your brand for long term, we can consider Baidu performance display to increase exposure of a brand. Baidu has a huge data about browsing behaviors. Your banner messages can deliver to the right audience accurately. So like I mentioned before, most of potential clients, they're like young people. They're interested in not only in finance, not only in fortune management. They're also interested in cars. They're also interested in movies. So when they're browsing this kind of website, your display will show up. So you gain more brand awareness. So now you've done SEM, you've done display. Now you're famous enough. So maybe it's time to start Brand Zone to further the load of the cost of conversion. Brand Zone, this is the Baidu product called Brand Zone. Brand Zone shows on the top left side of the result page when people search your brand. So most likely, the last search before conversion is searching the brand terms. So Brand Zone is the most effective way to bring a customer to your website because the CTR is very high, it's from 40 to 60%. So all of them can help your company in different aspects, but their nature, their charge model functions are different. So based on your budget, based on your business stage, we can help you to choose the different format of the Brand Zone. For example, this company, when you search FXTN's brand name on Baidu, their brand zone shows on the top right side of the result page. And it has their logo, main links, and description, product information, and also have another, they also use another product like we mentioned just now, Landmark on the right side. So basically, they have their brand cover the first page of Baidu result page. It's like you have a mini website on Baidu, the #1 Chinese website. It really will raise the conversion. So here's an example. So if you search the same brand name, brand terms, the CTR of the SEM is just 5% to 10%. But if you use Brand Zone, it will raise to 40% to 70%. OK, so there are many companies that are using Brand Zone. OK, so as Frankie introduced, there's so many people, there's so many products we have in Baidu, but you know, we will just like tell you later, and you can. We have things we don't have much time here to cover all these products. We have our colleagues down there, and you can reach us anytime. We will just give you more details. All right, so some tips for you. Sorry. First, localize the landing page. To have a Chinese website is very, very important. I remember I had this conversation with someone in London last month, 2 months ago. They're applying the license, they're doing a lot of things, but I asked them one thing: do you have a Chinese website? They said, not yet. I was like, if you don't have a Chinese website, why do you want to China market? Because most Chinese people don't speak English. They don't want to, like, even though they understand English, they don't want to like read a lot of English documents. So have a Chinese website. And another thing is, now everything is so fast in China. People don't have time to read a lot of things. So to make your website as simple as possible. OK, so another thing is have a Chinese brand name. Also, like, please extend the branding campaign and both online and offline activities to support your online program. It's highly recommended. All right. OK, so this is the media plan we recommended. Yeah, we recommended our client mostly. So basically, we need to at least have like 6 months. The first in two phrases. The first phrase will be like 2 months. So when phrase 1, we were just like branding and do the data mining, and phrase 2 is the next 4 months, from the 3rd month to the 6th month. So in this month, we'll focus on conversions. All right, so these are some list of our clients. This is not a full list, but they're on Baidu, and what about you? So come with us, come with Baidu, and hope we can grow business together. Thank you very much.